So if you were to describe the last 2 years in 3 words, what would they be?
Just 3 words?
Challenging, creative, and rewarding.
Oh my God, every day is something new. So, oh my God.
Scariest time ever. At least to begin with.
I would say it was challenging. It was definitely educational, and it was very rewarding.
Well, we would probably call it stressful disaster.
That's 2.
A stressful, crazy disaster.
Okay, that's 3.
How about that?
That'll work.
I guess the last couple of years have brought challenges that no one could have seen or predicted or even fathomed. And because of that, we were forced to grow in ways that we could never have imagined of ourselves.
In the beginning, it was a challenge logistically, not only trying to find food, because food was at a premium in the beginning of the pandemic, but also trying to find people who were willing to work and people who were willing to brave the exposure.
I had a lot of fear for myself. I remember thinking, am I going to die? You're sticking your head in 700 cars a day, or at least feeding 700 children, so it was a lot of cars coming through the line and exposing yourself. And at first I was really scared, and I'm sure our managers and staff felt the same way at times. But when this one car came through and these 2 children were sitting in the back, 2 little girls, and they started clapping when we handed them the bags of food. And now I'm going to get emotional because they were so happy. They didn't have the money. They had lost their jobs, or at least been laid off temporarily, and they didn't have money, and they had no way of getting food. That's what the mother was sharing with me. And I had this peace come over me that I cannot explain. And I can honestly say there was never a moment after that I felt fearful, that I was afraid.
We had to figure out how we were going to package the meals. And so I remember our entire district team had to go out to our warehouse, and I think there were 15, 16 of us lined up in assembly line, and we had to put together all the meals and box them up so that we're able to hand 5 days worth of meals to a family.
Because you never knew what was, as far as product shortages, you never knew what was coming in. You had to adjust menus. So made pre-planning a nightmare.
The biggest challenge was the product. Us not getting exactly what we needed. And I feed 2 schools, so that was a little bit more of a challenge, because I might be making pizza for this school, and the next school I'm making tacos because I didn't have enough taco meat for both schools. And it's like, okay, which school do I choose to give taco to? Do I do it to the Ivy Hahn school, or do I do it to my own school?
It was like Black Friday at Walmart, trying to get food and bags and containers and just anything that we needed to serve our kids. It was just a free-for-all
Frenzy.
Yeah, it was crazy, and it was very stressful. That was the most stressful part, I would think. Other than the initial shock of everything, it was just, what are we going to serve our kids? What can we give them?
It's been creative because we've had to think out of the box and do things a whole different way. And everybody kind of stepped up to the plate.
We're very big on standardized recipes, so that when you go to one school, it tastes the same as you go to a different school. We didn't have that luxury during this time. We had to rely on our managers to get creative, and we just gave them carte blanche with here are the products you have to work with. Make sure you follow the meal pattern, because USDA is very strict on what we can serve.
You're learning your team, and my team was phenomenal, and so was our district. The whole district staff, they all stepped up. And my team was there from day one to the very end. They never stopped. They wanted to know, what can we do next? What can we do better? How can we feed other schools? How can we help other schools?
And we were able to adapt and grow with that, and just did things that we never thought we could. I remember going home one Friday and figuring everything out after all the numbers, and I told my little team at Port Orange that we fed something like 5,000 meals in that day. Like, that is beyond comprehension to me.
I think the fact that throughout this whole experience we saw how the human nature, right, came out to really feed the kids, and that was everybody's desire and passion. At some point throughout the summer, we had bad weather, and we had people out in the rain. We had to go purchase raincoats so they could be out there, and it was just very impactful to see.
Having to go out and run schools. You would leave the school you're running to go fill in at a quarantine school because they had absolutely no one. Then you had to do your other job. Then you had to try to be there for your managers and not act stressed out when you were stressed out. And unfortunately, they know me and they can read me. So they would say, "Miss Debbie, are you stressed out?" "Oh, no, I'm not stressed out." I was lying. But they knew it. But they would say, "It's going to be okay, Miss Debbie." So see, I'm supposed to be out there encouraging them, but they encourage me.
And we have some amazing people, and they all stepped up and just really did the job, and they did it with love. And I was fortunate enough to work a curbside service one day, and the kids were coming not only just for the food, but they were coming from the love that our school teams gave them every day.
Rewarding, it's just every day when I see those kids and I hand them a meal and they say, "Hey, Miss Candy."
And I remember going to, I think, Galaxy, and the line, I mean, just backed out to the front gate just to see families who wanted to make sure they had a meal for the holidays, and how we had to come together and make that happen was another impactful moment for me, just to see how we're able to come up with solutions and during dire times.
We've impacted them, and we impact these kids on a day-to-day basis more than people realize. I just love my job. I wouldn't change it for the world.
But we got through it, and we're just hoping and praying that next year is a lot better.
It's going to be better. It's going to be so much better. It is, for sure.
I think we're looking forward to an exciting year. We're looking forward to be able to interact with one another in a more intimate setting, and just to be able to, positively impact our children.
As hard as it was and as difficult as it's all been, it really was positive in the long run.